Hi.
Hello.
You ready?
Yeah,
I am.
why not?
Yeah. Um, so, seeing how it feels to just come into this space, or wherever it is, if you're watching online that you might be now or later on, come into this space physically, certainly, and also come into this space emotionally and in terms of awareness. Had a conversation with someone just the other day about how difficult it is to accept things in the moment as they are and to not struggle mightily against them. As I get up and shut the door, attempting to make things not noisy. Um, and how much anguish and heartache can be generated by wanting something to be different that can only be the way that it is, which is a thoroughly natural thing for our human minds and hearts to do. But there can also at times be a sense of relief and release and a kind of shalom, a kind of peace that comes from naming perhaps what's going on and just in the moment allowing it to just unfold. And so we sit here grateful for the opportunity to be still and quiet, to be with friends, with people that we've come to care about, people that we're happy to see here, and just to drink in the beauty and simplicity of peacefully and quietly sharing this space for this little while. Accepting ourselves completely as we are this afternoon, and extending to our own minds and hearts the compassion and tenderness, the chesed, the loving kindness that we would extend to others. Whatever arises in our minds and hearts, we receive with ahava, with love, and with rachamim, compassion and understanding. Whether what arises is a sensation in your body, or a thought or story in your mind, just let it be. Notice what it's like to begin to give your body the, I like to use the word reshut, the full permission to just be at ease. No place else you need to be, nothing else you need to do. Just letting yourself be fully present. We sometimes speak of coming into a state that we evoke with the word hinenu. Here we are, hineni, here I am. So see what it's like to let yourself simply be here, feeling what you feel, sensing what you sense. God tells Moses that God's name is Ehyeh, Asher Ehyeh, I am what I am. I will be what I will be. And we who, the Torah tells us, are B'Tselem Elohim, created in God's image, can draw upon those words. Let yourself just be what you are, moment by moment. And now, in the most leisurely and unhurried way, bring your attention to the flow of breath wherever it is most apparent to you, in your nose, in your mouth, running over the back of the throat as you breathe in, and then releasing the breath as you breathe out, nourishing and cleansing, drawing upon this breath as a blessing that adds to your vitality, your aliveness, and then letting the breath go. We'll spend a couple of minutes just taking an interest in this experience of breathing, really noticing it and being with it, and just returning to it when we notice that our minds have drifted off, that we've become distracted. So we're going to do a little singing together. This is something we haven't sung in quite a long time. The words and thoughts are attributed to a important Ukrainian Hasidic teacher. He was Menachem of Chernobyl, and he, it is said, was contemplating the miracle of his own chiyut, his own aliveness, and he asked himself, what is this aliveness I am, and who is this aliveness I am, and how, great question, how is this aliveness I am? And his answer in Hebrew was, Halo Haborei Yitbarach, is it not the blessed creator, all of this aliveness? And we'll starts off with a little nigun kind of section, and we'll sing it through a few times. It goes like this. I did I am alive. I did I am alive. I did I am alive. I'm alive. Let's do that part again. I did I am alive. I did I am alive. I am alive, I'm alive. And what is this aliveness I am? And who is this aliveness I am? And how is this aliveness I am? Is it not the holy blessed one? I am alive. I am alive. I am alive. I'm alive. And what is this aliveness I am? And who is this aliveness I am? And how is this aliveness I am? Is it not the holy blessed one? I am alive. I am alive. I am alive. I'm alive. Okay. There is no rush. Take your time, and when it feels okay for you to let your eyes open, you can. And we are going to pick up with some tefillah here. Starts with Baruch Hu, over on page 4. And if you want to stand, you're welcome. Baruch Hu Adonai HaMevorach, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. And on the next page, Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam, Asher Bidbaro Ma'ariv Aravim, B'chokhmah Poteach Sha'arim, Uvidbuna Meshane Itim, Umachalif et Hazmanim, Umesader et HaKochavim, V'mishmerotehem Barakia Kirtzono, Borei Yom V'Layla, Golel Or Mipnei Choshech, V'Choshech Mipnei Or, Uma'avir Yom Umevi Layla, Uma'avdil Bein Yom Uvein Layla, Adonai Tzevaot Shemo, El Chai V'Kayam, Tamid Yimloch Aleinu Le'olam Va'ed, Baruch Atah Adonai HaMa'ariv Aravim. And on the next page, Ahavat Olam. Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael Amcha Torah u'mitzvot chukim u'mishpatim Otanu lemadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu, v'shofeinu u'v'kumeinu, נשיח בחוקיך, ונשמח בדברי תורתך, ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ולהם נגד יומם ולילה. יהבך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים, ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. אור שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד. You can have a seat. And we will continue over on page 12 with V'ahavta. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levacha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha v'hayu ha'davarim ha'eleh asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shenatam levanecha v'divarta b'am v'shivtecha lebetecha u'v'lechtecha b'derech v'shokbecha u'v'kumecha u'kshartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha u'tavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Beautiful. So let's see. On page, bottom of page 13. Sometimes the footnotes make good prayers. I love this quotation. Having just chanted V'ahavta, I love this quotation. That's at the very bottom, based on Yoma 86a, which is a passage from the Babylonian Talmud, where it says, Abaye said, if you'll join me in reading. Abaye said, spread the love of God through your actions. If you yourself study and help others to do so, if your business activities are decent and trustworthy, what will people say? Have you seen the behavior of one who studies Torah? How beautiful, what a fine person. Thus Isaiah taught, you are my servant Israel, and I will be glorified through you. Page, let's see, 16. Yeah? Yeah. Kamocha. Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh. Nora tehilot osefele, Nora tehilot osefele, ma'alekutecha ra'u vanecha, Rokei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, Ze'eli anu ve'amru, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed, Ya la 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 la, 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 la 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 la, ya la 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 la, la 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 la, ya la 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 la. All right, page 18. Spread over us a shelter of your peace. Ufros aleinu. Uferos aleinu sukkot, sukkot, shlomecha. Uferos aleinu sukkot, sukkot, shlomecha. Ya la la la, ya la la la, la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la. Uferos aleinu sukkot, sukkot, shlomecha. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, ya la la la, la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Lovely, page 20. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbi v'yamad yivarach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayechol beit Yisrael v'agala u'bizman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehi shemei Rabbi v'varach le'olam olamei amayah yitbarach. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudesha b'riku le'elam ninkal birchata v'shirata tushmechata v'nechemata da'amirat v'yama v'imru Amen. All right, page 74 is where the tefillah picks up. Say some blessings together and go off on our own. You can sit when you feel like you're finished. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elokei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imachot, V'Mevii Geula Livnei B'neihem, L'ma'an Shemo v'Yahava, Melech Ozer U'Mashiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayei hakol, atah Rav l'Oshiach, Mashiv haruach u'morid haGashem, Mekalkel chayim v'chesed, Mechayei hakol b'rachamim rabim, Somech noflim b'rafei cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato l'shenei afar, מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומידו מלך, מלך במידו בחיי ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלע. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. יהיו לרצון אמרי פי, והיום ליבי לפניך, אדוני צורי, אדוני צורי, וגואלי, וגואלי. Good evening, everybody. Erev Tov. Thanks a lot for coming out. And we have a lot of folks. Not that it's a numbers game. We have seven people right now following this online, which is really kind of nice. It's nice to know. So welcome to the folks who are watching at home or wherever you might be. So just a few words about a particular Hebrew word. If you know a little bit about Hebrew or the way Hebrew is put together, most Hebrew words are based on roots, and a root is a group of three letters, usually three consonants, sometimes could be a vowel, and those three letters in a certain order denote a concept, and then you build other words from that root, and they're words related to the same concept, which is how Semitic languages work, and it's really cool because it's so different than the way Romance languages, let's say, work. So there is a Hebrew root, which kuf he lamed, which in English would be the K sound, the H sound, and the L sound. And it is a root that has to do with gathering. Okay, and there are some really lovely words that come from that. Kahal is a masculine form. There's also Kehillah, which means community. During the Middle Ages, when Jews couldn't be citizens of the countries in which they lived, there was no citizenship yet, but Jews were allowed in good times to live in sort of autonomous Jewish communities. The autonomous Jewish community that paid taxes to the feudal lord and had a rabbinic court, a Beit Din, and the judge things that needed to be judged and so on, collected tzedakah. That autonomous community was called the Kehillah, from the same word. Kehillah meant like this community. It is also a root that gives this week's Torah portion its name. The Torah portion is called Vayakhel, which comes from that same KHL root, Vayakhel, which is a verb form of the root, a causative verb form, if you must know, if you're into get your jollies from grammar. So it's a causative form. So Vayakhel means to cause people to come together, to gather people together. Um, and it's Vayakhel Moshe that Moses convoked, he gathered the people together um, after the catastrophe of the golden calf to try again to get this Mishkan built. Uh, and now the people are really eager to do it, and they actually, it's every development director's dream is that the people bring so much that Moses has to tell them to stop. Stop bringing. It's like more than enough. We can't use all this. Um, the other thing, and this is sort of the reason I wanted to just raise this, is that there are some old synagogues in the United States. Galveston is one of them. B'nai Abraham, I think it is. Maybe B'nai Israel in Galveston? Yeah. So they're congregations where, like on their letterhead or whatever, or maybe the name when they incorporated it begins with the letters KK. And KK stands for Kehila Kadosha. Kehila again means community. Kadosha. So what's Kadosh mean? Holy community, right? It's the name of this. They would name themselves, the holy community, the sacred community of whatever. And the idea of creating sacred community, and I don't mean this in a cynical way, has become something of a buzzword in Jewish communal circles, like in the circles of the think tanks that think about, what does the American synagogue have to how does the American synagogue have to change and be transformed in order to continue to be relevant to millennials and Gen Z and the next generation everybody worries about? So there's a lot of talk about that. Um, what I'm wondering, what I wanted to just toss out as a little question is, um, if you understand the biblical meaning of the word kadosh, holy, to mean special, set apart, extraordinary, all of these things in such a way that they turn one's attention to that greater, whatever you want to call God or whatever term you want to use. What in your mind would be the nameable characteristics of a congregation that actually lived up to the initials KK, like Sacred Community Kehillah? Like what would that community be like? To actually embody that title of being like a sacred community.
I guess being there for others in their time of need.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, everybody goes through hard stuff, right?
Oh
And
yeah.
yeah, and in fact, not to put a negative spin on it, but having a community that's not there for you in your time of need is one of the reasons that people leave communities, because when they needed whatever they needed, they just it wasn't it wasn't there. So good for you. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
had two things occur to me.
Yeah.
One is the phrase "open armed," and the other one is the prayer we do, "May the door of this synagogue
Gotta be wide enough too.
Yeah.
So it would be a place where someone who was going through one of the tough times that we go through multiple times in our lives, right, knows that the people are going to be there for them, they're going to be taken care of. And I must say, one of the strengths of our tradition is that the tradition is so specific about what that means. What does it mean to be there? Well, you comfort mourners and you visit the sick and you feed people when they're hungry and you set up a Shiva minion and you do like all this, right? Like there's a catalog of things that constitute, being present. Hineni, right? It's funny. It's not funny, but it makes me smile. So if you go onto I think it's on the website of the Falmouth Jewish Center, where I will be interim rabbi, la-di-da, for a year. One of the things in their mission statement is we are there for each other with acts of hinenu, and hinenu is the plural of hineni, right? They use the term hinenu to mean like we're here, right? Like we're here for you. Okay, so may the door of the synagogue be wide enough, right? So we welcome people, right? This, by the way, also like the think tanks with their big grants thinking about like what the American synagogue needs to be. One of the startling conclusions was be friendly, right? Just be nice to people, be happy to see them. There's a story that one of these people tells. There's a group called Synagogue 2000 or Synagogue 3000, and one of the people Ron. I'm blanking out on his last name. It's Rabbi, conservative rabbi, but he tells the story of like he was checking out services in a certain synagogue and he went in there and the place was still empty on a Shabbat morning and he sat down and somebody came over to him and said, "You're sitting in my seat." Sorry, right? So that's like amazing, right? There you go. Like, yeah, try being nice, you know. Okay, so open and welcoming and present for people in their time of need.
There's a spiritual piece to it too.
Okay, so that's what would be some I don't know if examples is the right word. What would be some manifestations of that?
Kind of like meaningful ritual.
Uh-huh. Okay. All right. So the ritual, the worship, whatever, was something that elevated people's lives in some way, right? Was meaningful to them.
Help them to connect to something bigger than themselves.
Help them to connect to something bigger. Yeah. Good. It's beautiful. You guys should just be a committee. It's the last thing everybody wants is to be a committee. What else? Well, I'll share two things with you. Actually, no, I'm just going to share one thing. The one thing I'm going to share is I wish I knew I had this text to show you or to know exactly where it's from. I know that it's one of the Hasidic texts that we studied in our text study with IJS when I was doing all those Jewish mindfulness things. I may ask on the mailing list and see if somebody can point me to it because I'd love to show it to you. But it kind of asks the question is I'm thinking of what you said, Nancy, because I think that the question is posed, how does one bring God into a community, bring holiness, bring spirituality into a community? And the answer is you create a community where people are eager to listen to each other. And it says something like, we're a kind of community where people say to each other, give me some wisdom. Teach me something that you've learned. Tell me something you've learned about life. And I just, that again, I'm not stating it as eloquently as the original text, but that always tickled me and moved me. A place where like, my brother, my sister, my friend, like tell me, help me understand, what have you learned? Because we all have things to teach. And cultivating a place in which people actually really want to listen to each other. So that's the term Kehila Kadosha, sacred community. When it goes beyond being like a catchphrase or a buzzword or something that people say like, oh, we're striving for sacred community, it's actually something you're really working on. Like that's a beautiful thing. I will say also, because I want y'all to know this, that it is not terribly unusual. It doesn't happen every day or every minute or every week or even every month. It's not unusual for people to remark to me how much they felt that this community was exceptionally friendly and welcoming and people were sweet, and I feel really good about that because a consultant's not going to be able to teach it. I mean, that's not something you can sort of like, I mean, you can develop strategies and this and that, but just a place where like you walk in the door and it feels like the vibe is good. It feels like a good place to be. People are really interested in you. That's pretty great. So, all right.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
before that, a place where you just feel like you're at home.
Yeah. Yes. And God, that is so smart because I want to just say one thing about that because in the sort of Jewish DEI work that's being done within largely white Jewish communal spaces, JCCs, synagogues, whatever, around lifting up Jewish ethnic and racial and cultural diversity, one of the things that somebody who works in that field that I spoke to getting some advice about something said to me was, we all talk about welcoming, and they said welcoming is the easy part, facilitating belonging is the hard part. That's the long-term thing. Oh, they were really happy to see me walk in, but do I really feel, I like the term at home? Do I feel like I belong here? You know?
Inclusion.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
No,
It's like,
it's just inclusion or the fact that you feel, so you can go to some places and you might feel like you belong to the community because you're praying the same, but you don't feel like it doesn't give you comfort. You don't.
right.
So I think that the way this community is not only does it make you feel at home, but it provides you comfort.
Yeah. 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 Somebody that I once heard give a presentation on this at some URJ thing said, um, too many synagogues have been conceived of as institutions, and they said institutions don't care about people. Communities care about people, right? So yeah, all the above. All right. Inside back cover, yeah? Alinu? All right. Thanks for all the thoughtful comments. That was really nice to hear. Yeah. All right. Leinu nishabeach Adon hakol, latei gidula liyotzer reshit, shehu asanu k'shomrei hadama, ve'hu samanu kishlikei haTorah, shehu samchayenu itam, ve'goraleinu im kol ha'olam, v'anachnu korim, ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. Kaddish is on 598.
I have someone.
Who do you have, Jeffrey?
My mother, Patrice Batsuber.
Got that. Anybody else?
Leslie Friedlander's brother.
Oh, Steve Friedlander,
Yeah.
Okay. Yit gadal v'yit gadash shemei rabba, b'yama dibra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'b'yomechon u'b'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, b'agala u'b'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shemei rabba mevarach la'alam v'la'amei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh Hadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei d'kudusha b'richu Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechamata ta'amiran b'yama v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael amen. Oseh shalom b'ramav v'yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen. Yivarechacha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May the Holy One bless you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chunecha. May the Holy One shine upon you and be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God be with you and give you shalom, completeness, contentment, and peace in a world of safety, healing, equality, justice, and peace for all who dwell on earth. And together we say,
Amen.
Again, everybody, Erev Tov.
Thank you so much, Steve.
Huh?
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Thank you for coming. Thank you, online people, for being here too.